Let's kick off Greece. So, you are aware there are three basic time periods of ancient Greece: Archaic Greece, Classical Greece, and Hellenistic Greece. The thing that you need to know for Archaic Greece, the big topic for us, is that there were two civilizations during this time period. One that we're going to start with are the Minoans, and then the other one is the Mycenaeans. Okay, so there's the two that we are going to discuss. The first one being the Minoans. The Minoans settled and flourished on this island down here called the island of Crete. This is in the Mediterranean Sea. The island of Crete has a capital city of the Palace of Knossos, where the infamous Palace of Knossos resided. The Minoans were called the Minoans. They didn't call themselves Minoans. Looking back in history, they had a famous king. His name was King Minos, and so we call this the civilization of the Minoans because of their famous king, King Minos. He built the Palace of Knossos, and this palace is super famous because not only is it architecturally wonderful, beautiful, amazing, it was 4 stories high. It had the first toilet, plumbing. It was a lot of architectural feats. The reason why really it's so famous is supposedly the famous beast of the Minotaur. The Minotaur lived there. The Minotaur was a half man, half bull in Greek mythology that was supposedly made from Zeus and King Minos's wife. Supposedly they had interactions with each other that led to King Minos's wife giving birth to this creature, which was half man, half bull. And that King Minos built a maze in the bottom of the famous palace, which here is an image of the palace, built a maze in the bottom of the palace to cage the Minotaur. And every year, the Minoans would sail around the Mediterranean and the Aegean, and they would take tribute from small, lesser Greek states, even though Greece wasn't officially a thing yet, and force them to give them 6 men and 6 women who they would take back to the island of Crete and feed to the man-eating beast of the Minotaur. Now, dead people can't talk, so all they did was take these people, bring them back to the island of Crete, and kill them. But everyone believed that truly there was a man-eating beast on this island. Now, what's smart is if you are the people that living on Crete, if you are the Minoans, obviously you would tell everyone that there's a man-eating beast on your island. So nobody would come there and invade, because the Minoans were very wealthy from all of the trade that they did by boat throughout the Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea. All right, so that's the fun facts about the Minoans. Please know they saw the bull as an ancient symbol of power, which is obviously why the made-up character of the Minotaur is half man, half bull. They were also a sea people. That's why you see dolphins in a lot of their artwork, because they lived on an island. So clearly they were very good at boating. They were very religious. Most of their gods were females. And for some reason, we know the Minoans just kind of disappeared. They were gone. We don't know if that was an invasion. We don't know if that was a volcanic eruption. We don't know if it was a tsunami. But somehow their civilization was wiped out, which gave rise to the Minoan civilization. Gave rise to the Mycenaean civilization. I'm sorry. The Mycenaeans were a war-focused people. They obviously were a monarchy. They put kings in charge, just like the Minoans did. And they famously fought in the Trojan War. If you've ever heard the Trojan horse, these are the Mycenaean people that did that, King Agamemnon. This is an image of where they buried their kings in something called Tholos. And Homer, the famous epic poet, wrote about the time period that the Mycenaeans were in charge. The Mycenaeans are considered kind of the first Greek civilization because they spoke Greek, where the Minoans did not speak Greek. And when the Mycenaeans kind of fizzled out and were no longer a formed civilization, Greece enters a time period that is going to be called the Dark Age, where it's not that like the sun goes away. It's just we don't have a lot of records from that time period. So there's not a lot of action of what's happening. So those are the 2 things that you need to know for the start of our Greek lesson. The first civilization in the Mediterranean and the Aegean area was the Minoan civilization. They thrive for several hundred years. Suddenly they're kind of gone. So we know something big must have happened. We just don't know what. And then the Mycenaeans take over and are in charge. Remember, the Minoans are on the island of Crete, and the Mycenaeans are famous for the Trojan War. And that's the big things you got to know to start us off. Good job.